Hi everyone, welcome to Keep Calm and Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this lovely star keychain. For this tutorial you're going to need yellow double knit yarn and a tiny bit of pink for the blush, 5mm crochet hook, stitch marker, darning needle, pair of scissors, security eyes and a keychain attachment. Make sure you've got all of those components. Now before we start, if you enjoy watching my tutorials, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. We're going to start off by working a slip knot in our yellow colour and chain 2. 1, 2. From here you're going to skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Slip your hook inside, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on a hook, yarn over, pull through both. That's my first single crochet. I'm going to be working 6 of these all together. And once you have your 6 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. And this should bring your stitches nice and close together. From here, you're going to start working in a spiral. So we're going to slip our hook in the first single crochet of our previous round and work our first single crochet of round 2 in there. Going back into that same stitch to work another single crochet. Now when you work 2 single crochets in the same stitch, it's called an increase. In this round, we're going to be working 6 increases. Here's my 3rd increase, 4th, 5th, and my final one, number 6. This should bring your stitch count to 12. We're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. From here I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of my rounds. Follow the single crochet on with an increase. So 2 single crochets in that next stitch. And here's your combination for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around till you get to this point, as this will be the end of this round. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. We're now going to start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place. Going to follow the single crochet on with an increase and single crochet after that. Now here's your combination for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, 1 single crochet. Single crochet, increase, single crochet. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. We're now going to start the next round with 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, and 3. Follow this on with an increase. So 2 single crochets in that same stitch, and here's your repeat for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with an increase. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 30. Now we're going to work a slip stitch in our next stitch to finish off with this. Now we're going to follow the same instructions to make another one of these. This time we won't be snipping the yarn off. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. I've now finished working the second one, and we have 2 identical circles. From here you're going to take one of the circles, turn it the wrong way around and hold it at the back of the other. So when we turn this piece around, we have the right side up for both sides. From here you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch and slip it from the stitches at the back as well. So when we pull these apart, you can see I've made my way through the front and the back of these to connect the 2 circles together. So yarn over, pull up a loop, and we're going to connect them with 1 single crochet. Now I'm going to be using stitch marker to find out exactly where we're going to make the triangle to represent the spiky parts of the star. So to do this, I'm going to count 6 stitches over. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's use a stitch marker and slip that in here. And we're going to do the same at the back as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's my 6th stitch. Let's connect the two together now. And let's double check. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. So you should have 5 stitches in between as we have connected the 6th stitch. From here, you're going to work 5 single crochets across the front of the circle. So the one that we are facing currently. So that's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you worked your 5 single crochets in a row, you're going to turn your work around and we're going to leave this stitch just the way it is at the moment, and we're going to work 5 single crochets across the back as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This should bring your stitch count to 10. So we've worked 10 single crochets across if we count the front and the back. From here, you're going to be working a few decreases. So we're going to slip our hook in the first single crochet of here. So not the one that we connected the 2 pieces with, but the one after that. So slip your hook at the top part of that single crochet, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. Now we're going to follow this on with 3 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Another decrease in the next 2 stitches. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. You should be left with 3 stitches in this round, and we're going to finish that by working 3 single crochets in 1 in each. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And from here you're going to have 1 round of just single crochets. Altogether you should have 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're now going to follow this on with 2 decreases. So slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's your first decrease. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, another decrease, followed on with 2 more single crochets. Now this should bring your stitch count to 6. From here you're going to work 3 decreases in a row. 1, 2, and the last one. The hole is quite small, so this is just going to close the gap off between the this round bit. So that should bring your stitch count to 3, and we've got 1 triangular part, and the space between your stitches is next to nothing really. So we're going to slip our hook in the opposite stitch, pull up a loop from there, and work a slip stitch here. Let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. And once that's done, you're going to slip your hook from the base, take it out from the pointy part, and loop your yarn onto your hook and pull this in. And there we go. That's one of the items done, one of the pointy bits done. From here, you're going to take the stitch marker out and slip your hook in that space instead. We're going to connect the yarn in that space, and we're going to basically follow the same process over and over again until we've got 5 spiky bits. So each time we're going to be connecting the yarn on. So pull it through that stitch, give it a little knot in place and move it out of the way. Going back into that same, the next stitch, going to pull up a loop and we're going to chain 1 and work our first single crochet here. Going to have 5 single crochets in a row. Now again, use a stitch marker to know exactly where to stop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my 6th stitch. I'm going to put a stitch marker here for now. Let's go ahead, turn the piece around and count 6 stitches across here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the stitch I need to catch. So once you put your stitch marker on, you know exactly how far you need to go to work this spiky bit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 single crochets in a row. And then we're going to turn this piece around. We're going to leave the 6th stitch, that's what we have here. And go on the other side and work 5 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Start working in a spiral now, so slip your hook in the top part of your first single crochet and work a decrease. And 3 single crochets to follow this. 1, 2, 3, and repeat the combination one more time. So that's 1 decrease followed on with 3 single crochets. Now this should bring your stitch count to 8. We're going to have 1 whole round of just single crochets, so that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to work a decrease, 2 single crochets, and repeat that twice. So that's decrease followed on with 2 single crochets. That's 1 and 2. Repeat that one more time. That's decrease and 2 single crochets. That's 1 and 2. Now this brings your stitch count to 6. We're going to be working 3 decreases in a row to close this gap off. That's 1, 2, and the final one. 3. And once you've done that, you're going to work a slip stitch in the opposite direction, or from where we've just finished. Opposite stitch. Snip this off, pull it out, and slip your hook on the inside. Make it come out from where we've just finished, that same stitch. And loop this onto your hook and pull this in. And there we go. Now just like this, you're going to make 3 more of the same. Now when you've made 2 more, you're going to take a minute and stuff the whole area up with fiber fill and then work on the last one. So go ahead, work 2 more, and then I'll work the last one with you. I've now finished making 4 points of this star. let's go ahead and insert some security eyes into the head. So we're going to locate round 3, and we're going to be inserting these eyes between round 3 and 4, keeping 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches in between the eyes. And once you're happy with the positioning, let's go ahead and put the backing on. And now let's start by attaching the new yarn on top, and then we'll make the last point. But before we do that, make sure that you've stuffed all of these points with some fiber fill as much as you can, and you've stuffed this the body up with fiber fill as well, because once you've closed this, you won't have any access. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more. Now moving on to making the last point. To do this, you're going to make sure that you are attaching the yarn on the 6th stitch wherever you left it. So we already have a single crochet connecting this one and the front and the back basically here. So I'm going to connect the new yarn on this side. So pull this through both of those stitches and give it a little knot in place. Slip that inside and slip your hook in the next stitch and pull up a loop, chain 1, first single crochet here, 5 in a row. Here's my second, third, fourth and 5th. That's my last stitch here. Turn it around and we're going to work at the front as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Once you worked your 10 single crochets in a row, you're going to follow that on with a decrease in the first single crochet of your previous round. Three single crochets after that, and repeat that same thing again. So that's a decrease followed on with 3 single crochets in a row. That's 1, 2 and 3. This should bring your stitch count to 8. Now in the next round we're going to work a single crochet round, so you'll have 8 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We only have 2 rounds left, and before we actually do the rounds, we're going to stuff this up with some fiber fill as well. Now from here, you're going to work a decrease in the next stitch, followed on with 2 single crochets. Repeat that one more time. And stitch count is 6 at this point. We're going to work 3 decreases. That's my first decrease. Second decrease. And third and final one is right here. Once we've done that, we're going to work a slip stitch in the opposite stitch where we've just finished. And snip the yarn off, pull it out of the stitch, and slip your hook from further away, make it come out from near the same stitch where you've just finished, loop that onto your hook and pull this in. We can now go ahead and snip this off from here. And we're going to, now using a hook, you're going to slip it anywhere and pull this up so we can stuff the last point here as well. So shove it, push it upwards like this. So once you've done that, squeeze that, and that should retain its shape. Now on to the finer details, and for this we're going to start off with the blush. We're going to make a little blush on both sides of the eyes, and using a darning needle you're going to slip this needle directly underneath the eye, a stitch below the eye, keeping 2 stitches in between and keeping it horizontal in comparison to the eye. You're going to make a little blush. So just by going through that same stitch 3 times. That's 1, 2, and the 3rd time you're just going to snip this bit of yarn off and tie a little knot in place with the other bit of yarn, and that will allow you to make the blush. I'm going to snip the other yarn as well. Slip your hook from further away, make it come out from that same stitch where we've just worked this. Yarn these 2 loops onto your hook and pull them in and out from further away. And you can now go ahead and snip these 2 bits off. If they're still visible, give it a little squeeze and that should disappear. Go ahead and do the other side just the same, and meet me back here. You're finished with the blush now. Let's go ahead and embroider a little smile on as well. To do this, you're going to take your black yarn and insert it in line with the eyes from one side, make it come out from the other like this, and we're going to reinsert it back into that same space, but this time it will come out from the center directly in the middle. Keep the loop underneath and make this needle come out from the top like this. And we're going to move that line up, slip this back into that same stitch where we've just come out from, and guide it to come out from where we started. And just like that, we made this smile for this little star. So take these 2 strands of yarn and give them a little knot in place. And from here you're going to slip this into that same stitch, guide it to go through some fibre fill and come out from another side. Do the same with the other one as well. You can just pull this in with a hook. And once it comes out, we can snip that part off as well. And there we go, that finishes our little star. Now to make the star into a keychain, you're going to take one of these keychain attachments and we're going to attach it right at the tip of the top point. So thread your darning needle with the same yarn as the rest of the star. Catch just the top stitch here and thread this needle into the last loop. And we're going to just hold one bit in place and repeat the process a few times. And once you feel that it's nice and secure, give both of these strands a little knot in place. And you're going to use your darning needle, slip this thread back into that same stitch, make it go through some fiber fill, and come out from another side. Do the same with the other thread as well. And once you've done that, this finishes our star keychain. If you enjoyed making this little keychain with me, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.